at the end of last session, you had duplicate selves that were produced, and uh, two of those duplicates remain alive. It was George's duplicate that, as I recall, was killed. Um, but you now um, kind of have two ships because there's the Alexis that you all went onto and did some investigating, and then you came back onto your original ship, the Taconite, to kind of deal with matters there. And you had the engineer who perhaps unwisely decided to try to activate the jump drive, which created the duplication problem. But that engineer, along with a couple of his buddies, have been uh, neutralized, and you have the captain of the Taconite, Hannah Tutola, who is kind of relieved to see that. Well, I mean, she's doesn't quite know what to make of the duplicates, but at least is relieved to see that the ship is still intact. At least it didn't blow up or anything like that, and people are still alive. And she proposes that um, since you have two ships, that some people go back to the Alexis, not to operate the jump drive, which I think was basically incapacitated on that ship in any event, but the thrusters seem to be in order. And so she wants to have like two ships kind of moving around in this area of space now. Um, just a few other little details, or discoveries. Hannah says that V Hexo, the other android who is a navigator, um, they have kind of scanned this kind of ship graveyard. Um, for the most part, it looks dead. VHexo says that occasionally a blip will appear on his screen that seems like it may be an energy signature or perhaps a life signature. But whenever he kind of does a kind of more careful scanning in that area, it seems like it's just a ghost, right? Just this area of space, there's kind of distortions and things that are happening. So he hasn't really been able to. They haven't really been able to find any like solid, sign of energy or life coming from the ships. Um, there, you're near a planet, and there is one moon orbiting the planet. Um, it does seem like there may be, he says that occasionally he's picked up possible life signs, very faint, coming from the moon, and he's, sometimes he'll kind of scan it again and it'll be gone, but he does think that, well, he says that, but the life sign later on he'll kind of get a little blip again. So he, there's, the captain says, I think it's worth having one ship to perhaps investigate the graveyard or the moon, and then there's that planet down there, which seems to have a largely liquid surface, but the atmosphere is such that they're having a hard time getting really good readings. But if a ship were to move closer to the planet down there, they could get a better sense of what might be going on down on the planet surface. And so I'm gonna, with that information, turn it over to you can have a discussion and decide, what would you propose? The captain is kind of turning to you, says, what do you all think?
Hmm.
Based based on the evidence that we found on the other ship, I think that they had been down to at least the surface of maybe the moon. It seemed like they had been on some type of terrestrial, they'd been on some type of terrestrial expedition, and if if that's where whatever weirdness, if that's where they picked up on whatever weirdness affected the jump drive, I don't, I mean, I don't really want to say this because I don't want to, I'm not trying to volunteer for anything, but that might be where we need to go if we really want to get out of here. I'm not too interested in, poking my nose into some type of, um, you know, some 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 type of trap, but if what they're telling me about the jump drive is true, then as things stand, we're going to be trapped here no matter what. I don't think we have much of a choice, and I think that the moon makes maybe the most sense to focus on based on just those things they saw on the other ship.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything on the other ship that's going to tell us anything. I think everything we need to know is down on that planet, on that moon planet. Because one Vince can stay up here with the ship, and one Vince can go down to the planet. Right, Vince?
Yeah. Yeah, George is not really contributing anything verbally, but he's he's nodding.
Okay, so
and Leon will be as Leon's talking, he'll actually be looking at George to make sure that George is still backing him up, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I think now, yeah.
George he gives overly visual signs of physical agreement, if that makes sense. Very enthusiastic nods is generally a thing he does when he's not verbalizing, if that makes sense.
I do think it makes sense if Leon is now the senior Marine who's alive here. That he would be stepping up a little compared to what he would normally want to do.
Mm.
But yeah.
Okay, and so you all are agreeing to go to the moon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The moon.
And the captain is agreeable to that idea. If she says if you're going to go down to the moon, do you want to do that on the Alexis?
I think it's better to take the Alexis. I think it's already been contaminated by what's down there, and I think it's better to keep this ship as safe as we can.
Okay. And the ship we're on, this isn't George saying this, but the ship we're on, the thrusters, do they work? Because
yes.
I know the Alexis is.
Yeah, in both cases, okay. The thrusters are working, right?
Okay.
And the ship that you're on, the jump drive, kind of seems like it still could be operational, except it's very dangerous to turn the switch on the jump drive because odd things happen.
Oh, I did have one more question, which is when you said neutralized, which I thought was really funny earlier. Does that mean they were just all killed, or are they in some kind of prison, or are they, these rogue engineers? And who made this decision, as to what to do with them?
As I recall, it was the captain, and she basically turned off the oxygen supply to the...
Right. Okay. At my bequest. I remember this now. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. Oh, so they all... Okay. Yeah. Wow.
What I guess you would say is you haven't seen them since then, right?
Yeah. Right.
And the captain doesn't seem to be particularly concerned with... figuring out exactly if they could be revived or,
Okay, it's good that they're dead because then George, it's easier for George to say, yeah, I'm going to go on that moon.
Okay. Uh, so yeah, the captain, she says, okay. She, I think it would make sense. So, one of you. So Vince is a pilot, and V Hexo will remain on the Taconite as the navigator pilot. There, that's the other android. Um, it's a fairly small crew, but okay, well, why don't we say that this kind of, not the main engineer, but the kind of secondary engineer will go over with you. So it'll be the three of you plus this
Slavin,
guy
right?
Slavin,
Yeah.
Slavin Vygotsky is going to go over with you, um, and the I think the other big decision you need to make is you know that in the cargo hold, not the cargo hold, but it had this one bay. It was a kind of cargo bay where there was that really odd looking statue,
Yeah.
freaky thing. Um, that did seem rather unnatural, mysterious, perhaps dangerous.
Definitely
When you
dangerous.
go on that ship, are you thinking of doing anything immediately to that, or are you just going to power up and make your way to the moon?
I would like to rope it. I would kind of like to ideally, I would like to rope it off or put it or kind of put something around it, but I don't want to touch it. Like, is there some way to put some type of box around it or
Or some sort of anti-radiation material, maybe like some, if we had something radioactive, we'd throw this stuff over it. Do we have anything like that, or does the Alexis have anything like that? Because I was just thinking that same thing. Actually, it's like, what? In fact, I wonder if we should just put this thing back where we got it from. Vince doesn't like the statue.
That's funny because I was thinking that we should shoot it into space.
maybe that's not a
But-
bad idea.
Yeah. I mean,
Can we? I don't want to touch it. But
are we all right now looking at this thing? Like, are the three of us in there looking at?
No. I think I'm imagining this conversation still on the Taconite.
Okay.
But I could imagine that the captain would have heard a little word of like what you had done and seen over there, and
I think we should put it. I think if we. I think it may. Yeah, I think it maybe makes sense to get it off of the ship, but put it in orbit so that if we need to retrieve it, we can get it. So we can, just kind of put it in orbit and then kind of be kind of plop it there for now.
Mm.
And then we can, if we need it again for some reason, or we want to investigate it again, we can navigate back to it.
okay. I would imagine
Yeah.
also that you would have some little small beacon that you could attach to it pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
That would emit a signal so that, right, if you wanted to find it again, it would be, as long as that signal is still going, you could do that.
Yeah, I like this. I like that Leon is kind of stepping up and stuff, and I think George likes that, and he's kind of he's going off to look around the ship and generally kind of get the vibe of anyone who's remaining alive here. I mean, there was a lot of people who were kind of being treacherous, so he's off just walking around the ship at this. Once the conversation starts being there's clearly someone sane who's taking charge, George doesn't need to be part of any of the decisions. He's there to follow orders in his mind. So he goes off at this point.
Okay. Yeah, and I think getting it, if your plan is to try to get it off the ship and into orbit, I imagine, right, that would be with at least your skill set would be something that could be accomplished, right? I mean, you could get the ship into a kind of pretty quickly. I think Vince would be able to get it into an orbital trajectory, and then there is a set of doors that would open out. If you're in an orbital trajectory, it would open out into space, and somebody could, just open that up if they had the appropriate suit, and there would be such suits on the ship,
Yeah.
where you could then push it out into space. Is that
Does Vince have 0 grav or something? Like,
I have 0 grav.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I could get a vac suit on and push it into space.
Ooh, this is kind of
If
exciting.
Vince is piloting.
Yeah, I also have 0G, but yes, I pilot. Pretty good. And so, yes, I can maneuver it into, so that when we drop it, in theory, it stays in orbit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me. Why don't we get Vince to roll the piloting? I don't. I mean, if you were to fail this, I mean, you would still be piloting it, but I would just say it's not as. It would not be as stable an orbital path that you would be following, so that it perhaps would not be following a smooth trajectory. I mean, it potentially could get pulled to the moon or something like that.
Right.
What would that be? Intellect, or would that be yes for piloting?
For piloting, I'm thinking Dex, and then you get the piloting that gives it a bonus.
Wait, there's a dexterity. Am I missing a stat here?
No, wait. Let me. Yeah.
Oh, it's speed and
It's
I'm
speed.
Speed.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
It's speed.
For a second, I was like, "There's a 5th stat, and I'm missing it."
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's the hidden stat that androids don't.
They say it in the back of the book. I think there was some. Oh, no, I'm not gonna. Sorry.
Yeah, I got a. Oh wait, there's a bonus. No, I still. It's like 68, and I needed a 58, so I did this.
Okay. And then it's going to be Leon who opens the door, kind of puts on the suit and has the mag boots. Let's see how you do.
Yeah, probably not great, but so it's 0G, and then sorry, is that going to be with like strength?
Yes. Yeah, I think so, because you got to force it out.
So probably will fail. Yeah, I did fail, but 47, so not a critical.
Okay. I'll show you what's going on behind the screen. I think what that means, a failure, means that it's going to take extra time for you to accomplish this, right? Push. You'll eventually get it out there. I am, I guess, doing the Mothership equivalent of rolling up wandering monsters, and I think that's going to necessitate an additional roll. So we'll see what happens. From what you can tell, like it's more difficult than what you thought. But you're eventually able to force this thing out of that cargo area, and you see it kind of floating off. It seems to be kind of in a stable trajectory as far as you know, and you're able to kind of close the doors.
Yeah, and as soon as there's atmosphere back, I'll take off the vac suit and I'll be kind of like sweating and like extra smelly, I think, for that exertion.
Yeah, and George is walking in once it's like, there's gravity.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're pretty close to, you're in this ship graveyard, but you're pretty close to that moon. And Vince, what do you want to do?
Now, there's a shuttle that we could take down, right? Or can we land this ship on the planet, on the moon?
Yeah, I don't. This ship does not have a shuttle, but it's a fairly small ship. It's actually kind of designed to like that door that you push the kind of metallic statue out of. It kind of is designed to kind of land somewhere, and then that door would open, and right that cargo bay area it's well provisioned for archaeological digs. It has skeleton walkers, some with laser cutters in there. It has earth movers and cranes and other conventional tools. I would say like the things like the earth movers and cranes, they're not huge, but definitely like little, I guess, bobcats size earth movers and cranes.
Then I think what I'll do is I'll look through their data and see where they landed on the planet before.
Oh, nice. George can help you with that if you don't have computers.
Okay.
Oh, and I do have a question to interrupt the flow of play with, which is I just realized that I kind of need to heal. I'm at 9 HP, and I was reading in the book that if I have 6 hours of uninterrupted time to heal, I can make a body save and maybe get like 5 hit points back.
Yeah.
So
I think it's reasonable that when you made your way back and you had the discussion that there was some rest there. So
okay.
yeah.
Oh my god.
That sounds.
Actually, George is probably going to die this session. Okay, yeah, I failed the body. I have a body of 25, and you only heal by the difference between your dice roll and your successful thing. So I don't heal anything during the time. Actually, I fail, so there might be even a consequence. On a failure, you're unable to. Okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm unable to heal my wounds naturally. It says.
Mm-hmm.
So. And then it says that it could have. If the ship has a med bay, it can grant advantage to my body save while resting or something, which I didn't read, but yeah, I don't know.
Does first aid help androids, or does I have like mechanical repair?
Question.
I can look that up myself.
Yeah, and there are also the medical packs, right?
That is funny. Like, yeah, mechanical repair, fixing broken machines. It would. Yeah, there are the medical packs too. Oh, the stim packs. Yeah, I could take a bunch of stim packs and get addicted, maybe.
And it doesn't, that is also kind of left up to the warden to decide.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, if you take so many stim packs, or there's not like a roll. It's just that I guess the warden at some point decides, you've had enough stim packs that it seems like addiction is in order.
Yeah.
All right, let me see.
Yeah,
were you close enough that a bonus from I
got a 35, so my body's a 25, which is really. Oh wait, no, that's Liam Hughes. That's someone else. Oh, my body's a 44. Oh my god.
And what did you?
So I healed. I got a 35, so I healed 9 hit points. So I'm like, I'm at 18, which is not bad. My full health is 58. But yeah. Okay, so that makes me happy.
Yeah, and then you also have if you want to use the stim packs, that's also.
Yeah, I think George will definitely pop a bunch of those once, if anything goes wrong.
Okay.
All right, sorry about that. I just realized like I'm at death's door.
Okay, and yeah. So Vince, what are you? Where are you going to take this ship?
I'm gonna take it down to the planet where they were before.
Oh, okay, yeah. So let's. Who's going to make the now? And
the computers roll.
you also know that the computer system and the memory banks are a little messed up
Yeah,
on the ship, but uh, if somebody wants to make that computer roll, we can see what.
yeah. I have an intellect of 47 in computers, so I guess I probably have the best.
Yeah, you should do that.
Okay, so I have a 57 computers because I add the 10%. Where's my? I lost all my dice this week. So let's see. Okay, I got a 4, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I'm successful at finding, digging through this computer and figuring out where they've landed.
Um, yeah, so what you're able to determine is that there is a in the northern hemisphere there it doesn't pin it down super precisely because a 4 is and just to remind everybody, like a critical success would be rolling doubles, right?
Right.
Roll less than and you roll doubles. So, but it's nonetheless a solid success. So you're able to kind of determine that there's an area in the northern hemisphere of that moon, which is where the ship had been.
Okay, so George, and this is cool because George is working kind of closely with Vince and telling him where to go. His fucking arm is still busted from where Vince smashed with a crowbar, but he's typing on the computer with the other one, and
Yeah, I'll fix your arm later once we're out of this.
yeah. And George is he's happy to be at a computer working away.
Okay, so you're making your way over to that area that George was able to kind of determine. As you get closer to the moon, you can tell that there's, as perhaps is not surprising, there's various signs of wreckage down just on the moon as well, right? So some of these ships from the graveyard have also kind of gotten plummeted to the surface of the moon. And you are, as you kind of get closer, you're definitely able to pick up in that northern hemisphere area some faint signs of life. And those signs of life do not seem to be just simply ghost blips, right? That the closer you get, they're faint, but you're able to kind of. It seems like that right. Those are real signs of life that you're picking up there.
All right, looks like some people down there. Let's go ahead and get ourselves down there. Well, that was terrible. Is there any sign of a recent crash? Like maybe the military ship that was with us has crashed on the planet? Has there been any sign of that ship at all, or any other ships?
No, you haven't. You haven't been able to pick up any sign. Yeah, there were 2 other ships unaccounted for. One was the that military ship, the Defiance, and the other one was this cargo ship, the Wasabi. And you haven't yet picked up any sign from those 2.
And there are no recent crashes on the moon that I can tell?
Not that you're able to tell, but as you're kind of looking around, you do pick up that in that northern area there seems to be some type of bunker that has like an underground complex that's down there.
Hmm.
And you are also able to pick up that about 60 kilometers away from that bunker, uh, there's a particularly heavy concentration of junk wreckage.
And I have a question about this, like these computers in these, like, is this the type of thing where I can, it has some sort of like AI prediction system where I'm going to ask it, what's the likelihood that this bunker is been recently inhabited, and it's going to tell me like 85%. Like I'm just trying to pick, like, because that's kind of the like if this is drawing from like the alien tropes, I mean that's like the biggest trope I can think of that's kind of universal, is like these weird computers that can give you insight that almost seems a little supernatural. Is that something that like a computer's role could give me? Like, George is looking at this and seeing these two things, and he's like, how do these ships relate to this?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I will let you do that, but at disadvantage, just because the
Okay,
computer has been kind of messed up,
right.
right?
That
And
makes
so it's,
absolute sense. Yes. Okay, so I roll twice.
and you have to take the worst of the two.
Okay, so I got a 31 and a 66. Okay, so I critically fail here. I don't
Uh,
really know what that means, but I do
okay.
critically fail.
Okay. Now that necessitates a
Yeah, George is like having a terrible time that he's not able to get. Yeah.
yeah,
So
that necessitates a roll though, right? That a critical failure, that's the panic.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So let me get to my panic.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that as well. A panic check. I have 2 resolve, which is good. That'll help me. Okay, a panic check determines whether you are able to keep your cool under extreme pressure.
Yeah, and is there anything special with the android on panic checks?
No, just that fear saves made in my presence have.
Okay.
Okay, so I roll 2d10. I don't have a d10, so I'm just gonna roll them on mine. And I get a 10. Okay. Make a stress check, 2d10. If you roll over your current stress,
You
you
don't
don't
panic.
panic.
And you relieve
Okay.
one stress.
Okay, so my stress was 4, so I rolled a 10, so I don't panic and I relieve 1 stress.
Mm-hmm.
And then then I don't have to roll for a panic effect because I didn't panic.
Correct.
Okay.
So you're good. But it was a critical failure. So let me tell you the result of the critical failure is. So you were trying to figure out like if that wreckage was natural or.
Yeah, let me give you more of a visual as to what I'm doing. Like, I'm on the computer and I have all the visual data, and I'm asking it, like I'm asking it how maybe to map all the trajectories that this junk would have had to take in when it fell in relation to the bunker. To map out, like, are missiles being shot from this bunker or something? So, how does this junk relate to this bunker? It's kind of funny to think of what a critical failure means here. So,
Yeah. So yeah, you're kind of feeding some data into there, giving it the information of what's being kind of picked up from the surface. I could imagine you maybe occasionally telling Vince to maneuver in like an area where you can kind of pick up some more. And you're able to finally piece together, the computer is finally able to piece together that there does seem to be some type of thing that is operating on the surface that would be kind of pulling that junk there. And it's just as it makes that realization, and this is part of the critical failure effect, that in fact you have unleashed on your ship this mechanism now.
Okay. Right, like I've told Vince to position ourselves in a way that makes us
vulnerable to precisely the thing that was kind of resulting in the junk being pulled there.
That makes a shocking amount of sense for a critical failure on the computer roll. Yeah.
And what this is, Vince maybe picks up just a little bit too late that it's like a giant kind of harpoon that has been fired from the surface. And I need to roll now. It does hit the ship, and
Holy
it's
shit.
going to start pulling it to the surface. So the ship is going to sustain some damage. I got to get into my ship statistics now. Oh, and I need to see. It was a pretty sizable hit. Okay, and Vince, you are going to. I need to first of all though look because this may require a stress check, like when your ship sustains damage.
Yeah.
So I got to get to the ship rules here, which we haven't really.
Yeah, let me tell. There is a thing. When should I roll panic? Let's see if. Yeah. Oh, you said a stress check. This might. Not
Yeah.
be.
So anytime the ship you're in takes a hit, let's see.
Oh, this does say that you should roll panic whenever your ship takes damage from a critical success. I mean, you could interpret that as like when your ship takes damage as a result of a critical failure. I guess if you desired to possibly.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is have everybody go on and take that stress check because everybody's able to kind of feel that there's been some significant hit on the ship.
Okay. So I rolled above my stress, so I reduced my stress again by 1. This is how the stress check works?
Oh no, that's the panic. So with the stress, no wait, no, it's just that if you fail, you're gonna gain stress.
Oh,
That's
okay,
different than the
right.
panic, right? You were doing
Right.
the panic earlier.
Yeah, sorry, and what are we rolling against? What's the save?
Is this sanity?
Or
Fear?
fear?
A fear, yeah, it makes sense that it would be a fear.
Yeah, surprise.
So Vince, I mean, I don't know where Leon is, but Vince has he's around.
Say that again. You were clipping out on me.
Oh, sorry. I don't know where Leon is, but me and Vince are, together in this command room or piloting room, and so he has disadvantage because he's making a fear save in my presence.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm going to say that I don't know that I would have been on the bridge with you guys. Not just so that I'm trying to avoid rolling at disadvantage, but I probably would have been like kind of looking over this ship and kind of keep trying to feel like I'm doing like a kind of security rounds or just kind of checking over everything. While you guys are doing that, so I imagine myself kind of like just walking down one of the corridors,
And then it's like the ship gets kind of starts rumbling. Yeah. Okay, so I've succeeded at my fear check.
Okay.
Because I have a fear of 85, so it's hard to get me.
Okay, I failed my fear check, but not a critical, just a regular failure.
Yeah, same here. I failed mine, but not critical.
Okay. Roll. Those who failed, roll a d4, and you'll take that that much stress. Slavin also failed his, and so he's going to take some stress.
And Slavin's probably with me and Vince and in the control room or something, right?
Yeah, or he could have been walking around with Leon.
Do stress.
I kind of like Slavin.
He's okay.
Yeah.
He's my buddy.
Yeah, and you now have this harpoon that has attached itself to the ship.
And after we realize we did get hit, I am gonna head up to the bridge as quickly as I can.
Okay.
I say, what? Do we know what happened? Do we know what happened?
Yeah, let me. In terms of how quickly you're able to get up there, why don't you? And we didn't really position you. Why don't you just roll on your speed, and see if you get a successful speed.
I did succeed.
Okay, so I would just say that you're close enough and quick enough that you're able to get there.
Can Vince try to counteract the pull?
Yes. Yeah, because you can tell that not only has a harpoon, right, and you were able to kind of pick this up on some of the ship sensors that, right, this has, and you know, it does seem like there's something attached to the harpoon that is trying to then, if you don't do anything, would pull you down to the surface. So
Do we know where on the ship that it hit?
let me look at my schematic. That probably would be the best. I'm going to kind of randomize this. It's going to be on the underside of the ship. Yeah, it's in the kind of somewhere under the front portion of the ship that it's hit.
All right, hang on.
Okay, and this is going to be.
This.
Let's see. This is going to be. You're going to roll a speed check at disadvantage, but you do get to add your piloting to it.
So 44, which is under my speed of 48, which with piloting would still be 58. So 44.
Critical. Fast.
But it's at disadvantage.
Yeah. I rolled a 44 and a 16.
And a 16. So the
16 is worse.
Yeah, the 16 is worse.
Oh, technically, right. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, 16. Yep. No, that's a good point.
All right, so with a regular success, yeah, you're able to get the ship kind of stabilized and kind of also kind of pitch the ship, its trajectory just right to kind of get it kind of pulling away from the planet, and you finally kind of feel, right, there's a little resistance that's going on, but shortly after that resistance, though, you're able to suddenly feel like, oh, there's no resistance anymore, and you have the harpoon is still attached. There's a very long cable that is attached, but the cable has, failed ultimately, right, to do what its job was, right? So you have the harpoon and cable now.
So is this like, are we like a mile above the surface and there's a mile long cable that's trailing?
Or we could say that maybe it's not quite a mile long. It was somewhere between the surface and the ship that the cable broke. But yeah, it's a fairly long cable that's now.
Are we hulled? Are we streaming some atmosphere?
Are you? Say that again.
Were we hulled? Are we streaming some atmosphere to where it punctured us?
Oh, no. I mean the life support system seems to be holding on the ship. And actually, kind of thinking about this, maybe it's fortunate that the harpoon is still attached, right? That it's, maybe if it had you gotten it really fully pulled out, that you might be, losing some atmosphere. But
I think that George is gonna say to Leon, Leon, try if you can find what's this guy, the engineer's name, Skaven or something? Not Skaven.
Slaven.
Skaven is those rat guys.
Yeah.
Skaven. Go find Slaven. You have to make sure that if that harpoon dislodges, we could all be breathing. Well, you could all be breathing space air. And I need to be here at the computers.
Yeah, somebody get down there and find what compartment it's at. Then we'll go ahead and close that compartment off.
Maybe George will do like a couple typing things and try to see if the computer will tell him where the puncture happened. I mean, it's so hard to know like how smart these computers are. So I'm like, please, like, I don't want to make you jump through a bunch of hoops for me, Robbie. I'm just like, can I quickly type on my computer and have it tell me where this harpoon penetrated?
If you're willing to roll another, at disadvantage. Because your computer is kind of glitchy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm willing to do that. I got a 4 for the first one, but there's an ad blocking the reroll thing. I don't like that. All right, so I got 1 4 and a 79, so I fail.
Okay. I mean, you still know that it's like punctured the hole, under the front portion of the ship.
Right.
I'll say I'll go grab Slavin and we'll try to see if we can do damage control.
Okay.
We'll put on vac suits and go like cabin to like compartment to compartment. Well, you guys are continuing to deal with the descent.
Yeah.
Vince gives Leon a look like, you're not leaving me here with him, are you? All right, George, let's find a place that's not shooting at us, right? Let's find a place that we can put down.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so in terms of like where the harpoon hit, you go down to that main corridor area. You don't on the lower deck, and you don't see anything. But if you poke around, there is a small room that is somebody's quarters down there on the lower deck, and you see when you open the door there, you're able to kind of see the tip of the harpoon kind of extending up from the deck. I'm going to just assume that you would have your what do they call them, vac suits that are.
Yeah, I said I was going to put my vac suit on first. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you have any skill that would kind of give you some repairing ability?
Oh, true, right.
No, I don't, but I will. I think I'll just close the door. Like I'll try to keep the door closed and like to that compartment and just kind of like we're gonna seal it off.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that there would be like some type of sealant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was looking for that too in the.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, that's.
Would my
fine.
foam gun help? Would my foam gun seal the doors up? Maybe I would have given you my foam gun to like kind of seal the edges of the or something.
Yeah, we could go up and we could go back and grab it and kind of foam it up. I
Foam
think
it
that
up.
would
Okay.
that makes sense.
And in the meantime, Leon, I'm sorry, Vince and George, you're gonna try to move closer down to the surface, or
Yeah, we're gonna try to find a spot where we can sit down without being shot at.
okay. So
Yeah.
so you have okay. So the harpoon gun was located. Let's see if it says exactly how far. Yeah, I mean that was near, somewhat close to the big pile of wreckage, is where that harpoon gun was, and the underground bunker that you were able to pick up is, I think it's at about 60 kilometers. Yeah, roughly 60 kilometers away from that area.
So the harpoon shot at us from the wreckage.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
They had some type of big mount, right, for the
Right.
with the gun that would have
Huh.
shot that.
All right, so
Okay.
let's aim for the bunker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully, it don't have any defenses, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So you make your way over to the bunker. There is no other further projectiles or weapons that are kind of aimed at your ship, and you're able to find a place safe to land on that would be close to that bunker. So your ship comes down for a landing, and you would be able to pick up what you think is the entrance to the bunker. So it would not be a problem for you. You land, you don't immediately see any activity, but the life signal is pretty strong and consistent now that you're this close. That there's definitely something living, and I would say not only that, but you know that there are multiple different life signs down there, right?
Okay. And are they? So, I how what did we see when they were seeing these life forms? Are we seeing little dots on a screen moving around or something, or are we just kind of generally told there is life?
Yeah, I don't think it would be super precise, but
Okay.
precise enough that there seem to be multiple independent life forms
Right.
in that
Okay,
underground bunker. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That's scary. Yeah.
when we sit down, I turn the outside lights on, obviously, so it gives that.
Oh yeah.
And Vince is going to, shut the ship down. Get his. Well, what's the atmosphere like outside?
Very, very thin. Like you would. It has a minimal atmosphere. I mean, definitely, you would. If it was like a quick little sprint, you could maybe be okay. But yeah, you definitely want to be in a vac suit, unless you're an android. An android would have no problem getting around.
All right, put on your suits. Slavin, come on. We're going to go outside, take a look at the damage. Pick up my laser cutter to go with me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get a vac suit. If they're going out, I'll go out with them. But I'm not going to be carrying tools. I'm going to be carrying my rifle.
Oh yeah, George's coming with a rifle too, and he's got the. He's leaving the foam gun behind this one. No, he's bringing the foam.
or my submachine gun rather. And then I'm also going to take a stim pack before I go
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
outside.
George is gonna take a stim pack. Oops, I just like activated my monitor.
Okay, and the stim pack. Um, so
I
so
want-
you roll 2d10,
Right.
and add that to help, and
then a
I
bit to
guess you
combat.
also roll. So it grants an immediate 2d10 to health and temporarily increases strength and combat by 2d10 each.
Okay.
So I'll let you roll all that, and then I will roll for the number of hours
Okay.
and make a note of that. So who's taking the stim pack?
I am taking one.
Okay.
So I
So
got
just for
I-
visuals, while they're taking their stim packs, Vince is just drinking a cup of coffee and shaking his head.
Much more
Like-
reasonable.
That's all you need. That's all you need, boys. Stiff cup of Joe.
Yeah, and George's like stim packs are kind of like inbuilt into him in some way. I don't remember how I described it, and I really wish I could because I thought it was cool when I did. But like some compartment in him just shoots it up to his brain. So I don't even think other people can see him doing it.
Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, both of you take the stim pack, and you don't know what it is, but these both of you feel like these stim packs really had some good stuff in them. Like, maybe it was the excitement of getting hit and but whatever it is, there seems to be something. Now I don't know how you did on your rolls with the 2d10s.
pretty good.
I gained like 12 strength.
Yeah, me too.
So
Pretty happy.
Yeah. So you both are
Pretty happy
feeling...
with that trade off of strength and combat for whatever horrible thing's
yeah,
gonna
for addiction.
happen down the road.
Yeah. Oh, and Robbie, I had to use the stim pack last session, and I don't know if, like, you know what? Never mind. I think I actually have it.
Did you have a question about using it?
Well, I was just like, I didn't know if you had tracked how long it lasts, and then I realized it must not still be active.
No,
because-
it wouldn't, because you'd also we talked about like the 6 hours rest and
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, never mind.
Yeah. I do need to keep track of how many times you use it, because at some point, if you keep using them, then we got the addiction possibility.
Mhm.
Okay, but yeah, you have the light on, and are you all gonna look first of all at the damage on the ship? Is that the...
George is looking very, very, paranoidally. I don't really know the word. Whatever. That's definitely not a word. He's scanning the surroundings, and if we're right next to the bunker, he's definitely, gonna see what, he doesn't care about the damage on the ship, is what I'm saying. He's like, come on, Leon, let's let them deal with, the hull.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make sure that there's no one around here watching us.
Yeah, I would say that you're maybe about like 70 yards from that entrance to the bunker. And while you're out there looking around, that entrance spot, you do pick up. You can visually see. If you shine your light over there, and actually you would see a light kind of shining from that area, and you could make out that there is a kind of figure moving around there.
Okay. Like a humanoid-looking figure that kind of looks nice and.
It does look humanoid, yeah.
Okay.
And actually, you think you see that it's waving
Okay.
at you.
Yeah.
Well, the other ship was down here. There could be people that were left behind. We didn't account for everyone who should have been on this ship.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. George is like, all right, Leon. let's head over.
We'll take a look. Like, so and I'll have I'll have my weapon sort of at the ready and be approaching cautiously. And I will I'll also be looking for kind of places for cover as I move forward, just because I'm still not completely. I'm still worried about, that it could be someone else.
Is this like I don't really know how like physics works. Can I yell to this person, or is there some weird thing where like sound isn't gonna? I don't really.
I think under a thin atmosphere, I mean, you could, but I think the thin atmosphere would substantially decrease the volume, right?
Okay, so even knowing this, George is yelling in that loud voice. Come out with your hands, and he's kind of a. I kind of hate how he's kind of a bit of a cop, but whatever. Come out with your hands where I can see them, basically, to this person.
Yeah, this person, as you get closer, they have looks like a vac suit, but it does not fit them well. It's super large, and you can see that the doorway to the underground bunker is open, and the figure is now kind of waving you and then also gesturing to come inside, basically, right? They're like, come here, and right is kind of pointing you in. And the figure itself would, occasionally take a couple steps towards the interior of the bunker, look around, make sure that, seems to be wanting to make sure that you're gonna follow it into the bunker.
So George, at a certain point, when the figure is just going away from us, George stops and puts a hand on Leon's shoulder and is like, making gestures. You have to come here.
Yeah.
At the figure.
Yeah, I'll stop and look, and then I'll kind of nod. I get what George is saying, or George is trying to do, and I'll try to raise him on the short range. I'll try to see if I can I'm gonna try to broadcast on a short range comm to see if it picks up. See if I can get him and to connect to his comm in his vac suit.
Okay. Will this require some kind of computer's roll? I mean, George is on the roll with that. So.
I think what will happen is the comm will work. That figure will start to approach you, and you eventually hear a voice, and the voice says, I welcome you to our modest colony. We've been on this moon for a while, but we've learned how to survive, and you are welcome to join us. As you hear this, it is clear that you do not see you can see the face of this figure, and its mouth and lips are not moving while this is being communicated to you.
Good.
No. That's freaky.
But it says that unfortunately I imagine that you've noticed that jump drives don't work around here, and this has led to countless ships falling to the miserable fate of having to orbit around that dead, lifeless planet. But there is life here, the voice says.
Oh my god. That's scary.
Seems to be. And just before I talk to him, am I needing to roll sanity or anything like that?
No, I don't think at this point you need
Okay.
to roll. I mean, it's a
So,
little weird, but I don't think
yeah,
it's as...
I mean, I'm pretty creeped out by it, but I'll say, and what about that harpoon that hit us? Is that you're doing?
The voice says, "Oh, the harpoon. I must apologize. That must be Brecht. Brekt. And the voice says, "Oh, and my apologies. My name is Kalm with a Kalm, and I'm here with Verge."
George is approaching Kalm because he's kind of like, is this just an android that's having, some kind of malfunction with their, because androids don't need to have their mouth moved to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. And so he's like going up to Kalm and he's like, your mouth isn't moving.
Yeah, as you get
what's
closer,
wrong?
you could tell that this figure is not an android. It does seem to be human.
Okay. So George, yeah, I mean, George, he brings up the pulse rifle and he says, "Why isn't your mouth moving? We've encountered anomalies before."
The voice says, "My mouth is moving, but I apologize, but you just can't see me because I'm underneath Verge's suit right now. You're probably looking at Verge and noticing that Verge, bless his soul, is just kind of standing there stupidly looking at you. I'm under the suit, as you'll see if unfortunately Verge can't really survive in this thin atmosphere very well without the vac suit. But if you join me, and I promise that if you desire, I could put in a good word for you, and I'm sure that the colony would take you in. The colony is always open to new members."
Have you had any other new members recently?
Not real recently. The ships, I think, have tended to avoid this area, but on those occasions that one does drop by, I'm always try to be welcoming. I mean, I think most people are in despair when they come here, but as I say, they're it's not a great life, but we have eked out a life here.
And George is starting to walk, towards the bunker, but he's saying, "What do you eat? How do you drink? Like, what do you eat? What do you drink? Are you even a human?"
Okay, so the voice says, I'm like you. Verge is like your two companions, a human, but I'm like you.
Okay.
And right, the figure kind of turns around and starts walking back to the entrance, and the voice says that there's no need to be afraid. I mean, if you want to stay out here and think about things, I'm not trying to pressure you, but you can stay out here. But if you would like to to join us, I can kind of close the door. We do generate oxygen in the bunker, and you won't have to be. Well, you're not in a vac suit, right? You're as an android, right? But you'd say your companions won't have to stay in vac suits once we get safely inside.
I think. I mean, what George would say is, look at Leon and say, "I'll stay on the short range comms with you. I can go in alone if you want." But of course, of course you can come. Is implied, but
I think so. I'll say, I'll talk over the. Yeah, I guess I'll nod to George and say like I'll be, I'll be here, and I'll also switch over and try to get Vince and the ship on the comms, and say there's some kind of life here. He says he's an android. He says there's other humans down there with him. George is going to take a little closer look at and and go with him to investigate.
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Sean.
See if they got some duct tape and a 4x4 piece of hull section they can borrow. Lend us. Got to weld some stuff here.
oh right, because Vince is
Oh yeah.
fixing the ship.
And so maybe we can say that too, and I can say to Kalm, since your people did attack our ship, do you think you would be able to help us getting some material to repair it?
So the voice, Calm says, well, that would have to be left to Malta. Malta's the head of the colony. I will be, kind of honest with you that, the whole, you're unfortunate getting hit by the harpoon. One of the ways that we've been able to survive is by pulling down wreckage onto the planet's surface and scavenging from the kind of graveyard that's kind of floating around up there. We've, been able to kind of pull together, various useful things from up there.
Yeah, George says, to Calm, okay, you should bring me to, bring me inside, and looks to Leon with just like a really, sad and worried face, and he's just like, if I die, yeah, just, come, you don't have to come in after me. And he's gonna, press some button on his short range comms that just makes it always on.
Okay.
So they'll know if suddenly you hear like a gunshot.
Yeah, I'm listening along.
Then I'm dead.
So Leon is staying with the ship right now.
Yeah.
And George is going into the bunker.
Yeah.
And then Vince is with the ship, George in the bunker, and Leon is like midway between the two. Is that?
Yeah, I'll start once I see George. Once George goes in, I'll make my way back to the ship, but keeping the comms on.
Okay. All right. So George goes into the bunker, and that figure kind of pushes a button that kind of closes the door, and you can hear a loud right as oxygen, comes into the area. And then that figure takes off this kind of oversized vac suit. And what you see is, okay, that figure is a human. But when the vac suit comes off, you see, let me see if I get a description. You see that there is strapped onto the chest is this android, or part of an android, half of an android that's strapped onto the chest of this figure. And once the vac suit comes off, that android figure, says, okay, we are now pressurized. It's very ironic that you're the one that kind of came in here when it's actually your companions that are most in need of the kind of breathable air that the bunker provides. And the android's mouth is moving, right? I mean,
Yeah, right.
The voice is coming from.
Yeah, George says, it's not about what I want. It's just that, I have to do this. I have to be the one who's going to risk their life. You said that there was a bunch of other people living here. You need to show me them now.
Okay, yeah, and she says, yeah, there are people, there's food, there's water, there's medicine. If you want membership, and we have resources that will allow you to survive. Let's see, she yes, what Kalm says is, well, normally what we do with new people who arrive is, we take them and put them into a room, and somebody will want to kind of question you to make sure that your intentions are true. You can ask some questions of us, and you will, if you're agreeable, you will be offered membership.
Okay. Okay, I think George is gonna say into his comm, I think you guys can come in. And he's gonna go press the button to open the door.
Okay, so I'll George has given us the go ahead, Vince. Are you muted again, Sean?
Sorry about that. Yeah, but I gotta fix this ship first.
Yeah, I think. Okay, George can probably calm to Vince, and we'll say, me and Leon can head in, and we can try. We can get you help with fixing the ship up. To give us an hour or two.
Yeah, just need some 2 4x4 glass steel parts, slabs. I could weld it on there.
Yeah, and George says, they must have extra parts because they're pulling, whole ships out of the sky nonstop. So
Yeah.
we'll get our hands on this.
Right, these are the people who shot at my ship?
Well, one of them is.
Yeah, one of them is. We're gonna figure out. They claim that they shoot at wreckages of ships to get stuff, but who knows?
Hey! Don't tell them that we intend to take off again, right? Just tell them that we want to repair our ship for reasons, right? I don't want a bunch of passengers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's actually a good point. Yes. Yeah, George. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm sure George doesn't have to speak into his comms. He can just transmit voice. I mean, he's a fucking robot, so yeah. You know, it's not like this whole conversation is
Yeah.
privy to Kalm or whatever.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Verge.
Yeah. So Calm is the android. Verge is
The human.
the human. Verge. Occasionally he says things, but Verge says things like, "When are we going to get to pet the goats?" You know, he doesn't really seem to be zeroing in on exactly what's happening. Says, you know, we've been out working a while. Time for some rest. You know,
Yeah, this guy's brain is fried.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, George doesn't know too much. He just is. You know, I don't think George can make anything of that. So he's like, I need people here, you know, or other person here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll head back over to join George.
Okay. And Vince, are you going to join, or are you going to stay with the ship?
I'm gonna keep Slevin and myself here at the ship for now. We're gonna try to. I'm gonna use a laser cutter to essentially cut the harpoon in half,
Okay.
or as close to the hull as I can without damaging the hull, and then we're gonna pop it the rest of the way through, and then try to start sealing that hole.
Cool.
Okay. So when Leon gets you get invited in, and Calm is there, strapped onto the chest of Verge. Door closes back. You've got air to breathe in there, and Calm says, "Look, I don't want to mislead you. Malta, the leader of our colony, she will come across as rather blunt. Some people think she's cruel. But if it wasn't for her, I really don't think this colony would have survived. But look, she basically works a standard deal, which is people who come here, if they want to join the colony and survive, they would be welcomed. But there is a fee that is required.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And part of the fee is going to be your ship. And she also will require you to kind of go through a demonstration that you are willing to fully become part of the community. Some people initially are shocked to find out what they need to do, but it's nothing to be afraid of. You can decide what part of you want to give to the community for the communal meal.
Oh my god. This is not good news.
Yeah.
George is just looking to Leon to interpret all of this kind of mystical, whatever this means.
No, I'll look at George and I'll raise my eyebrows, but then turn to Kalm and say, "Well, that seems fair. George and I can't make all those decisions ourselves. We're here under orders, and we're not the only people on the ship."
Yeah, and George says it would be good to meet. It would be good to at least meet your leader,
Malta.
and maybe we could talk. I don't know if we're interested in staying. I kind of doubt that we are.
Okay. Do you want me to bring Malta up here?
Yes, please. Yeah, George's getting a little frustrated. He's like, yes.
Okay. She will, Kalm will agree to do that. Says, okay, I will go get Malta. As I say, I just want to warn you. She's gonna seem pretty inflexible, and
Yeah, George says she can see him however she wants, and I can, have my pulse rifle right here.
okay.
Bring her to us, please.
Yeah, and Kalm also says, oh, and I certainly appreciate the fact that you have companions and that you need to come to some decision together, right? I mean, it's kind of like our community. Everybody has kind of agreed to kind of come together and make sacrifices.
Right, slowly be cannibalized or something. Is what George is thinking. Yeah. Yeah, George is nodding. Yeah.
But I mean, Leon will say, "Yeah, you get it. We have to. We we need to make a decision as a group."
Yeah, and I guess and this may be a good place to end it for tonight, and we can then pick up with the meeting with Malta if that's what you want. Kalm will say about this kind of ritual that when the story is right, Kalm realizes that. I mean, Kalm has seen other people come into this community and knows that this ritual is something that initially turns people off. But Kalm says, look, when the colony was first created, there was nothing to eat. And the people initially had to do, their when things are limited and it's life or death, people have to do what they have to do to survive. But that since then, this kind of membership ritual has just become the way that people indicate that they are ready to be part of the colony. And it's it's not a cruel ritual, right? Kalm says, you can decide what you are willing to give up. That's the way the colony has come together and survived for all these years.
Okay.
Kalm does predict that, okay, with Malta, she's likely to be inflexible. If you want to go back to your ship, you can do that. Malta knows that eventually your ship is going to be hers anyway, because how else are the jump drives don't work around here, so you're going to be just another junk heap. Right.
Somewhere Vince is like, somebody's saying something about my repair abilities. My ears are burning. Slevin, are you talking shit about me?
Yeah. I'll kind of look at George again and say, but say to Kalm, well, we haven't completely given up yet.
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah. And he's like, Kalm, you need to go and, you need to stop talking and go get Malta right now.
Okay.
Because, all this ritual stuff, get real. We just want to talk to Malta.
Okay, and Calm says, okay, Verge, let's go. We will leave you here. You can stay here in the entry to the colony, or if you want to make your way back to the ship. But I'll go tell Malta what has transpired, and I'm sure she's going to be eager to meet you. Okay.
All right.
And yeah, so we'll leave it there, and I think the next scene will be hopefully the appearance of Malta, and see what you all decide to do.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I like this. It's getting creepy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's getting creepier. I think.
Yeah.
I'm excited to join this nice little community.
Yeah, so yeah, and y'all can decide. I think well, if you trust Calm, right, you still have options as to what you want to do. But
it is a good. I mean, it is a good question, right? Like all these other people have not been able to figure out how to get out of here. I mean, it is a kind of a question. Like, if we can't figure out the jump drives, I mean, at least there are some people who are living here, I guess. I mean, Verge didn't seem to be doing too hot, though. If he's just like a little...
yeah.
He's basically like a human car.
I think Vince would be happy to start our own colony. Not with these guys.
You can go to the southern hemisphere and start up the alternative.
I am wondering like what they eat though, because it's like you can't like if they are chopping off bits of themselves for this. I mean, you can't really do like go on like that too long, because if you might get someone else's arm this week, and that might sustain you. But I mean, if next week you have to cut off a whole fucking arm.
Well, Verge did mention wanting to pet goats.
Right.
Oh, that's actually a good point. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is actually a little more interesting than I thought. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm excited about it.
Assuming the goat is an actual goat, as opposed to a space alien goat.
Yeah.
Right.